Hooked On Fishing was brought to you by Matamata Sports World. For all your friendly advice and service, see us first. Hi, Chris Bungard helping you plan your weekend's fishing. Well, we've had a fair bit of wind to contend with over the last few days. Looks like it's going to continue Thursday and Friday, dropping out a wee bit on Saturday afternoon, and not a bad day on Sunday. We'll come back to that in just a moment. Quite a bit of rain around. They're mostly dirty showers and that, though. There's not a high content of rain, if you like, so the rivers and streams around the place are still reasonably fishable, particularly the good old Waihau. It's carrying a little bit of colour, which is quite good, particularly down the sort of Matamata end, down towards Te Ara, Pyro and that sort of way. But up the other end, Whites Road, Pataru, around that area there, still running beautifully clear and still holding some quite nice fish. But some good reports I've had this week have actually been from the Waikato Lakes, Arapuni and Karapiro. Now, I was talking to a couple of guys that came in the shop on Monday and they're looking for a bit of advice on where to have a look around. They wanted somewhere nice and sheltered. There was quite strong winds coming through. So I suggested they have a look down below the Karapiro Dam. It's on the downward side of the dam. You go across the dam, turn right towards Te Amutu, and just along the road there a little bit you can get down below the dam there. Now they took my advice and had a look down there and they caught 2 trout. The best one was just under £7, an absolute beauty. And they came in all full of excitement on Wednesday and said, look, Bunge, I couldn't believe it. We saw some in there that were around that 10 or 12 pound mark, and I've mentioned it on the show before. Down below that dam there are some absolute beauties. What happens is they feed on the eels and stuff like that, getting mixed up coming through the turbines, and they sit in there. They're very hard to catch for that reason, but for a stealthy angler like yourself perhaps, you can get down there and get some real beauties. Upper end of Arapuni as well, we've mentioned that a few times, the little mouth of the Tumai stream. Talking to a couple of guys that went up there, strong winds. They parked up at the mouth of the Tumai there, very, very sheltered up that end. They got a little bit of scruffy weather going up the lake from Bournemouth's Landing, but once they got up there, they caught some nice fish, and they got 2 or 3 around that 4 or 5 pounds, so there's some quite good fish up there as well. So Waikato Lakes, have a look at those this weekend if you get the opportunity. A bit of wind around on Saturday, dying out on Sunday to a variable of 10 knots, so you should have a lovely day if that's your idea. Talking to Glenn Skinner in the Rotorua region, he's quite impressed with the way that stream mouths are fishing. This time of the year, the fish are looking at heating up there to spawn, particularly the rainbows. Some of the brownies have already been through. In fact, some of the brownies you'll catch now are in recovery mode where they've already been and spawned. They're a little bit slabby, a little bit skinny. Take a little pair of long nose pliers with you. If some of those fish are a little bit slabby, try not to even lift them out of the water, just whip the hook out of their mouth with a pair of long nose pliers or something like that and let them go for another day. They'll be there next time you go back, and they might be in better condition, taste better in the smokehouse as well. But Glenn is telling me that the stream mouths are holding some nice fish. Also the Oho Channel, there's been some quite nice fish caught in there at the moment. And the lake edge, Rotowedi and Okataina and Tararua, fly fishing around the lake edges has been quite productive, and the spawning trout are cruising up and down some of those beach fronts like Rotowedi on the main road there, and they've been getting some quite nice fish using that sort of tactic. In the Taupo region, talking to my man down there, Ken Duncan, he tells me the Tauranga Taupo has been fishing quite well. Now, I was talking to Adrian Baker and Glenn Baker, a couple of well-known boys from Matamata here. They were heading down for a bit of a scan on the old Tauranga Taupo in the last day or two, so I'll catch up with them and see how it went. But they were obviously listening to good reports from down there as well. What's happened is this rain has created a bit of a fresh run into some of those streams, so they are holding some quite nice fish at the moment. Out on the lake itself, you can imagine with these winds coming across, it's been pretty scruffy. It's going to be like that today and Friday as well. Saturday it's going to drop out a wee bit in the afternoon, but Sunday will be the best day for a bit of a fish on the lake over there. Western Bay side seems to be the best at the moment. West Coast at the moment, well, what can you say? Really at the moment, it's just complete frustration over there. Talking to Dwayne Penny, who runs a charter boat out of Kawhia. He's had the odd day out there. Now, it's the time of the year to start looking around that 50 to 55 metre mark. I'm talking about depth of water, not distance from the shore. And that is where the big spawning snappers start coming in. They'll start moving in soon. I can't say today or tomorrow, but it will be soon. And, this time of the year, it's a matter of getting out there, having a bit of a look around with your depth sounder and experimenting a wee bit. He hasn't had a lot of success lately because mainly of the weather, and it doesn't look good for the weekend as well, unfortunately. Perhaps early next week with that variable of 10 knots coming in on Sunday could be fishable out on the west coast. As I said, if you get a chance, he's fished the Southwest Reef, but what's happening there now is the smaller fish are moved onto that reef, and you're probably better to go out on the sand and look around for some of those bigger fellas. The Coromandel will be the pick, but I think beware. Friday and Saturday, the weather is going to be pretty scruffy coming across that Firth of Thames. They're talking southwesterlies up to sort of 50 or 60 knots, in fact, on Friday. Saturday, going to be a wee bit scruffy as well. The incoming tide seems to be the best. Now you've got high tide around about midday. So you've got low tide early in the morning on Saturday. It's about 5:30. It's about 6:30 Sunday. Evening tide, I think, will be the best on Saturday evening and Sunday evening. You've got evening on Saturday up in the Coromandel. You've got low tide around about 5:30. So you'll get the chance to fish that low tide at 5:30. And then the first half hour to an hour's lift coming into the change of light. That should be a good recipe. They've had to contend with huge tides up there this week because of the full moon on Monday, and they were colossal tides. The closest the moon's been to the earth for a long time, so that creates big tides. So it hasn't been easy out fishing out in the middle and that sort of thing. I think Sunday should be a good day in the Coromandel. Over the hill to the Mercury Bay region, as I said, evening stray lining will be the ticket. 5:30 low tide, first hour's lift coming in, so I think that'll be a good area. Motiti and Mere as well. I think Saturday night maybe, but probably Sunday and Sunday night will be the ticket out there. Now, if you'd like a new reel coming your way, well, during the month of August, you can give us a call on 0508 647462. That'll get you in the draw for a brand new reel from our wonderful sponsors in Rotorua there, Kilwell. That number again, 0508 647462. This has been Chris Bungard helping you plan your weekend's fishing. Hooked on Fishing was brought to you by Matamata Sports World. For all your friendly advice and service, see us first.